What's up, everyone? Mr. NoobTube Gamer. Today we're playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 in 2024. A few days ago I made a video talking about Battlefront 1, and I was very negative in that video, saying that that game, as much as I love it, it's one of the greatest FPS games of all time, and is a game that I overall think is a much better one than Battlefront 2, and will always hold a special place in my heart, but gotta, put nostalgia aside and admit that, yeah, that game is definitely not worth playing in 2024 because the online community just is not there. But in Battlefront 2, it most certainly is. The same day that I recorded the gameplay for Battlefront 1, which was recorded on, I would say like around 4 or 5 o'clock on a Saturday evening, so that's as many players as you're ever gonna get in any game, is that time of day and that day of the week. So I go to Battlefront 1, and I see that there is nobody. It's completely dead. Then I play Battlefront 2, and it's a completely different situation. I found 3 very populated servers. Not full. Like, you never really get a quite full server in Battlefront 2. Like, you'll see in the gameplay here that there's definitely a lot more humans than there were in Battlefront 1, but there's still some bots mixed in there, definitely, for sure. Still a lot better, though, than Battlefront 1, where it's pretty much all bots that you're fighting against, and maybe like 1 or 2 human players. But now, with this game, you're still getting a really good online experience in 2024. It's not popular enough, though, like where you're always going to find players. You're really better off going on weekends and maybe late in the afternoon. On the weekdays, you'll get lucky, but just going in on a random time, like there are times where I just went on like odd hours and it was completely dead, not a single person online. So, I mean, but to be fair, for a game from 2005, it's pretty impressive the active player base that is still going on with this game, and you can't really think of too many games that came out during the same time period that have more players than Battlefront 2. It's just, as time goes on, most people who play video games weren't even alive when it came out or weren't old enough to play it or whatever. The vast majority of people would rather play the EA version of Battlefront 2 than the original because they either think that it's too old, the graphics aren't pretty enough, or whatever reason they may have. And me personally, obviously, I grew up playing this game, so I'm going to be biased, but I think the game still holds up very well in many ways. I don't think the graphics are that bad for a 19-year-old game. It may not be as flashy as the newer games, but I think the gameplay overall and the gunplay and everything still feels really good. The map design, that was one thing that I really preferred Battlefront 1 over Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 obviously brought in a lot of maps from Battlefront 1, but it feels like most of the new maps that they added in that were like original to Battlefront 2, they were all like these small, close quarters maps, not these big, large-scale maps. Like, I'm thinking of the Dune Sea from Tatooine, both of the Kashyyyk maps, the platforms from Bespin. It really feels like large-scale warfare, while the maps that were added in Battlefront 2, aside from the ones that already were in Battlefront 1, but all the original ones, like Felucia, Death Star, Dagobah, Polis Massa, Tantive 4, they were all like these tight corridor maps that just felt too small. There's nothing wrong with having maps like that, but I feel like it dominated the game way too much, and it felt like a downgrade compared to the previous game, in my opinion. I think people are just willing to look past that because of the space battles and playable Jedi, and like, oh my god, this game is so awesome. And I the space battles are fine, but I prefer just having like a giant map where you have infantry and you have ships that you can fly around, because you had a lot of that in Battlefront 1 and it felt just so much more immersive. And the Jedi thing, honestly, I liked it when you didn't have Jedi in the game. Of course, you had it like where NPCs controlled either Mace Windu or Count Dooku in Galactic Conquest, but it became such a huge part of Battlefront, and I prefer it just being focused on the soldiers and having no Jedi in there, but that's definitely an unpopular opinion. So yeah, if you like being able to swing your lightsaber, force choke people, and push them off the map, then it's a fun game. It definitely is. Definitely not trying to trash it. I think it's great, just trying to explain why I thought that one was better than 2. Also, am I the only one that always plays this game in first person? It feels like everybody is always playing it in third person And same thing with the EA version as well. Like, everyone's always in third person and, like, never in first person. It's funny because when I was a kid playing this game, back when it came out, I would always be in third person. And whenever it somehow went to first person, I got really upset and didn't know how to change it back to third. And was like, oh no, this game sucks now. And now I never play in third anymore. It's really cool that it lets you play both third and first person. Never mind back then, I can't think of too many games at all that, like, just let you seamlessly switch between the two like that. It's really nice. But yeah, your best bet is the PC version. People do still play the Xbox and PS2 online. It's very rare though. Like, it's usually people in Discord servers organizing events, and it's never like a full server anyway. So PC, yeah, it's your best bet because it has the highest amount of players, and it's a game from 2005, so you're not going to have to ever worry about if your PC can run the game. It most definitely can. Now, if you want to heavily mod the game, that's a different story. Like, if you want to download the Battlefront 3 mod, it's going to be very, very intensive on your GPU and CPU. But most mods, like, you know, adding a new map here and there or a couple of new things is not going to break your computer, even if it's like some old laptop from 2014, 2015. That's definitely one thing that 2 has over 1. The modding scene is way more robust, there's a lot more going on, and there's still plenty of people still making mods for Battlefront 2, so that's awesome. Most of these mods, though, you're not going to really find people online. There are servers that exist, but nobody plays on them, I guess because installing mods is hard. So, yeah, I mean, I'm someone that really doesn't enjoy playing with AI anymore, so I just play the regular base game because that's what people are actually playing online in 2024. But I know most Battlefront fans these days, they're EA Battlefront fans, and that was their introduction to the series. I mean, technically it's its own series. It's not the same as the original games, but give it a chance. You know, obviously, graphically, it's going to take a lot of getting used to, and the gameplay is very different, but come at it with an open mind, and I think you'll have a lot of fun.